Another really helpful resource from the Border Studies site is the standards package. 2001, 2002, they set standards for the new HSC. And I like the 2002 one because it's also got the answers for the working. So what I want you to do is pause this and get on and do question 1 out of 2002's extension 1 paper. Give yourself about 12 minutes, even though I said before 15 would be fine. If you can get it done in about 10 or 12, that's really good timing. So now that you've done that, let's have a look at what was given marks. So the marking guidelines are given for every single question. And so for 1 mark for question 1A, you need to give the correct answer. Correct answer, correct solution, same kind of thing. And so when you look at question 1B, you're going to get 2 marks, obviously if you've got the correct answer, but there's a couple of ways that you can get 1 mark. And then in the 2002, there were exemplar solutions. These students got 12 out of 12 for these particular questions. Doesn't mean that the way they've done it is the only way that you could do it, but they've got 12 out of 12. And so you can use these exemplars to actually mark your work to make sure that you've got it right. So this whole idea of the limit is x goes to 0, sine 3x being equal to 1, in this particular question, you may or may not have needed to show that. But there was another year where a question similar to this was worth 2, and you really did need to show that working out as to where you got that from. Once again, in this one, when it comes to using so remember the 2 marks, one for using the product rule and another one for correctly differentiating. You don't need to go and then factorise. So it's important to get down to the correct answer. Simplify it if you like, you don't need to factorise it, but watch the time. So we've got a correct integration, we've got really clear setting out, substituting in the values and then getting working out the answer and then taking it down to the final line. It's really important that you show the lines of working out, because particularly if you do some of this in your head and you do it wrongly, if you haven't got that first line there, you are not going to get even 1 out of 2. So the next thing that you can use the standards package for is to have a look at, well, what sort of band descriptor am I working towards would I have got with my mark out of 12 for this particular question. The other thing that's available on this site is the markers comments. This is available for every HSC. There's the markers notes from the marking centre. If you go in and have a look at that, that will tell you the kinds of mistakes that students have made. And then, if you like to, you can go on and do question 6, particularly if you've already learnt about projectile motion, and then do the same kind of process to mark that. So I'm hoping that you've all at least done question 1 and 6 out of the 2002 paper, or if you've got a lot more time, definitely go through and do the whole paper and look at the standards package, mark it from the exemplars, and then have a look at your rough idea of a band cutoff based on the work samples that are up there. In terms of how you're going to do well at the exam, know your stuff. Absolutely learn your formulas and know when to use them. Read your questions carefully, and my final advice is always get out there and enjoy it. Use this exam as an opportunity to show off how much maths you've learnt. And as I always say to my students, enjoy, and may you get the marks you deserve. So if you've worked really hard, make sure that you absolutely eliminate careless errors and really nail that actual exam. And, yeah,